was a junior in high school, my prom was absolutely ruined. To help this story, I was in no way popular or sought after. If I'm being honest, I'd rate myself a solid 6 out of 10. I know that sounds harsh, but this was high school, and my self-esteem was non-existent. Anyway, prom was approaching. No one had asked me to be their date, which didn't surprise me. What did surprise me was this quiet kid, I'll call him Johnny, did ask me to prom. Johnny was quiet and not popular like me, but he ran in different circles. He was in the math club while I was in the drama club. He wasn't bad looking, just average enough to blend in with the rest of the crowd. I decided what the heck, and I said yes to his prom invite. Prom was on a Friday. It was held at the local country club. I arrived there with a few of my girlfriends and their dates. We were having a great time, and Johnny was actually pretty cool. However, about halfway through the night, things drastically changed. I started to dance with my girlfriends in a circle. A few boys joined in with us. Nothing intimate, just fun, fast-paced dancing. But as I was dancing with these other boys, I saw Johnny glaring at me from across the room. Anger doesn't describe the look on his face. He looked menacingly at me and stormed off. Freaked out, I told my 2 girlfriends to come to the bathroom with me. We get to the girls' bathroom, and I start telling them how pissed off Johnny looked when I was dancing with the other boys. They were in the middle of telling me not to worry about him, when suddenly, the bathroom door opened. We looked to see who entered when the lights shut off. We pulled out our cell phones and scanned the bathroom. I called out to whoever turned off the lights. We scanned the walls, searching for the light switch, when my cell phone light shone directly on Johnny. He was standing in the corner, crying, but with a violent look on his face. I asked him if he was okay. He said I betrayed him and then charged at us. We screamed, but we were able to evade him and run out of the bathroom. We found the nearest teacher and told him what happened. It turns out, Johnny was pretty intoxicated and was dealing with major self-esteem issues. He said seeing me dance with other guys set him off. He was escorted out of the prom and actually suspended the rest of the school year. I decided not to press charges or get the police involved. I'm not sure if that was a good idea or not, but what I do know is my prom night was completely ruined. I hands down had the worst prom night imaginable. When I was a junior in high school, I broke up with my extremely toxic boyfriend, Austin. He was always cheating on me, verbally abusing me, and just not a nice person. His friend group was the same way. I started to date this new kid, Joseph. We met at my church. He went to a different school than me, but he was nothing like my ex, and that was a good thing. Anyway, our school's prom was coming up. I asked Joseph to be my date, and he agreed. The prom was on a Friday at our school's gymnasium. My girlfriends and I rented a big bus for all of us and our dates. The night was going well. Around 9 o'clock, Joseph and I decided to sneak away from the prom for some alone time. We walked out the back door and headed towards the bleachers by the football field. We started making out like typical high schoolers when Joseph pulled away from me. I asked what was wrong, and he pointed at the football field. There were two guys standing on the field wearing pig masks. They both had wooden baseball bats and were looking right at us. I felt this nervous twisting in my stomach. The one guy on the left oddly looked like my ex the way he was standing. Joseph told them to F off. They didn't. They got closer, close enough to the point where I could smell weed and alcohol on them. Joseph stepped in front of me, telling the guys to back off, but they didn't listen. Instead, they attacked Joseph. They beat him with the bats and stomped on him. And I screamed my lungs off for the attack to stop. Teachers and students who were standing outside the gymnasium heard my screams and started to run over. The guys in the pig masks saw this and started to run away. But just before the one who I thought was my ex ran away, he turned, looked at me, and slugged me in the face. The teachers and other students arrived to help me and Joseph. An ambulance and the police were called. I told the police I knew it was my ex and one of his friends, because shortly after the attack, my ex sent me a text saying oink oink with a pig and baseball bat emoji. He's an idiot. I showed that to the police, and it was more than enough to go and arrest my ex. They actually ended up doing time in jail and expelled from our school. Joseph was okay. He had a broken wrist and a swollen eye. I was also okay, other than a fat lip and some blood on my prom dress. But yeah, like I said, worst prom night ever. This is my one and only prom story, and it happens to be a nightmare. Prom was on a Friday night. My house was the house everyone used to take pictures by the pool with their dates. I think there were like 30 people in total. Of that 30, 8 of my girlfriends got into a limo that we rented to take us to the prom. Our dates didn't come with us, as they had rented their own limo and would be meeting us there. It was all very bougie, I know. The drive over to prom wasn't bad, until the limo driver started acting very creepy. It was a stretch limo, and I sat the closest to the front where the driver was. I kept catching him glaring at me in the rearview mirror, and I thought at first he was just making sure everything was okay. But after the third time I caught him staring, I knew he was being weird. We finally got to the prom, and we started getting out of the limo. I was the last one out, but as I'm about to get out, the limo driver grabbed my leg and said if my date stands me up, that he can be my date. I told the guy don't touch me and bolted out of the car. My girlfriend saw how distraught my face was and asked if I was okay. I said yeah, I'm fine, and didn't go into details about the creepy driver. I just wanted to have a magical drama-free prom night. We met our prom dates inside. We all socialized for a bit, but then immediately went to the dance floor. I was dancing to some Justin Bieber song when I got a text. I checked my phone. It was the limo driver. The only reason he had my number was because I was the one who booked him, and my number was on file. His text asked me how prom was going, and if my date stood me up. I texted back to please don't contact me, and blocked the number. I wish this is where it stopped. About 20 minutes after the text, I started to feel watched. I scanned the prom to see if I noticed anything unusual. I did. By the drink section, almost in the shadows, I saw the limo driver. He was standing there, his cell phone out and pointing right at me, like he was recording me. I immediately went to the teachers and adults who were chaperoning and told them about the man. They approached him and told him that he needed to leave or they were calling the police. The guy didn't even seem fazed. He just smiled and said, "I'll see you later." Thankfully, we were not taking the limo home, as it was just a one-way service. After prom ended, I went home and left a nasty review on the company's website. The company never reached out to me, and I have no idea what happened to the driver and if he is still with them. I never saw or heard from that man again.